Welcome to the Reluctant Knitter podcast. My name is Adrienne, and I'm the Reluctant Knitter. I am coming to you from the shoreline of Connecticut, where I live with my husband and our two pets, a Great Dane named Elizabeth Bennett and a cat named Atticus Finch. I never know how to say, because I say her breed and then he's just a domestic short hair, but then I think it sounds weird being like, am I a domestic short hair cat named Atticus? And then a lot of times people ask me, not a lot of times, when I first got him, people ask me oh, what kind of cat? And I'm like, regular. But then I feel weird being with my Great Dane Elizabeth Bennett and my regular cat, Atticus Finch. Anyway, welcome to anybody new checking me out, and welcome back to returning viewers. I'm happy to have you here. It's been a month since my last podcast, and that's it. This is a podcast about knitting, some crocheting, and sometimes some other crafty things, I guess. It's irregular, and I do it when I can, and that's it. That's my life. And it's weird, and it's messy, and I am off the wall sometimes. I feel like I should have brushed my teeth. I'm just drinking water, and I have coffee. Okay. Where you can find me, I'm on Instagram as The Reluctant Knitter, and I'm on Ravelry as Reluctant Knitter with no E in the knitter. What I'm wearing, I am wearing my Conversation Hearts cowl. This is by a friend of mine, Aquila Boland. She is on Ravelry. You can find this on Ravelry as well. I finished this 2 years ago and never blocked it. So I just recently blocked it, and then I felt like I should wear it on the podcast. I knit this out of the hearts are made out of Conversation Hearts minis by the Cat Lady on her Perfect Sock base. She's a friend of mine as well. Her name is Andrea, and she has a YouTube channel, The Cat Lady. And she puts out podcasts much more regularly than I do. Only she doesn't call them podcasts anymore. So, and then the gray and the white are Heritage Sock, Cascade Yarns Heritage Sock. The white is in snow and the gray is in gray. They couldn't come up with anything more clever than gray. So yeah, I actually made 3 of these. I made 2 of them for 2 friends' daughters, 2 different friends who each have a daughter. and then I had so much left over, I made one for myself because, hello, it's so cute. I love it so much. Okay, that's what I'm wearing. And I don't have any finished objects. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I really am not. Okay, so I have 2 old whips and I have 1 new whip. I'm not really sure which one to start with. Let's start with my new whip. So my new whip is the Arco Iris by Joji Locatelli. I really love her patterns. I've made several of them. Her patterns are really easy to understand. So I don't know. I was going to say simple, but some of them are not simple. Some of them are simple. Some of them are a little complicated. But anyway, I will put a picture of the pattern picture up here for you. I am knitting this out of Yarn Bee yarn in Soft and Sleek DK, and the color is Oxblood. So it is a top-down, I think raglan, 3/4 length pullover. I think it's supposed to be a little cropped. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I finish to the measurements, see if I want to knit it a little bit further. It has a lot of pet hair on it. So it's a V-neck. I don't know if I said that, V-neck. Sorry, the lighting is really bad in here. Let me see if it'll change up a little bit. I don't know, because it was obviously getting brighter because it's a dark yarn. It's actually sunny out, but I don't know. I don't have the greatest lighting because I don't live in a studio. Okay. So this is it. So I've passed the sleeve separation And I'm knitting on the body now, which is just endless stockinette. I am knitting this on a US size 6, a 4mm needle. I think this is the recommended needle size, but my gauge was different. So I am knitting this in a size 7, which is a size, I believe, a size bigger. It might be a size smaller. I don't remember. Okay, so the gauge in the pattern, I think, is 20 stitches per 4 inches, and I was getting 22 stitches per 4 inches. So I think I'm knitting a bigger size, one bigger size than I'm normally, but I actually liked the fabric of this. This is already feels like a little bit open of a, you know, I'm getting a little bit open, more open gauge. And I don't think I would like it in 20 stitches per 4 inches. No, it's 20 stitches per 4 inches. I don't think I would like that. So I liked the fabric that I got on my swatch. And so I just did the math to knit an appropriate size for myself. These are on my Knitter's Pride Mindful interchangeable needles, which I have a love-hate relationship with. Okay, so yes, the yarn is, like I said, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK. It is low pill fiber. It is 100% acrylic, and the color is Oxblood. I think I already said that as well. And this is it balled up. So this is like a little bit bigger, I think, than like if you were to get like an indie dyed skein of DK. I think you got a little bit more. So this was 4 ounces, 478 yards to 4 ounces. So I think I only needed 3 balls to knit the size, to knit my size. That's it. And it's living in a bag made by my sister Sarah, who's keeping track of how many times I say my sister Sarah in this podcast. It's an ongoing joke if you're a new viewer. And if that type of thing annoys you, someone saying my sister Sarah 87,000 times in a podcast, then this probably isn't a podcast for you. I should also mention that I am wearing a shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, also sewn by my sister Sarah. It's like got holes in it. I love it. It's very comfortable. Okay. My next 2 whips are just vanilla socks. I've been knitting on them for forever. I don't know what possessed me to knit vanilla socks. I was also knitting my float shawl when I started knitting these socks, and it's just like the amount of stockinette is just mind numbing. So I don't really knit that much on them. I did make some progress on another one. On one of them, I should say. Okay, so I'm not really sure how far I was the last time I showed this on the podcast. I do have a stitch marker, but I believe that that's where I was previous to my last podcast. So anyway, these are vanilla socks. I'm knitting them 2 at a time. I'll talk about this in a second. I'm knitting them 2 at a time, toe up on a 40-inch fixed circular US size 1 2.25. These are Addies. I knit 64 stitches, and these are for my mother. These are also a Yarn Bee, and it is the Cozy Toes base, which is 100% acrylic. Well, it's 93% acrylic, 7% polyester. It's actually a very cool, sorry, the color is Alabaster. It's a very cool yarn, actually. It's very comfortable to knit with, and it's like almost like a little bit stretchy. I know you can't really see, but it also is like weird because it's like two together. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's stretchy and cool, and I actually really like knitting on it. The downside is, for some reason, and this is where the heel is going to go. I knit an afterthought heel. There's 0 dye on this one, like 0. Like I said, this is for my mother. I don't know what happened. I'm starting to get back into the dyed part of the yarn, but there's just this big white blank space. I think it was supposed to have these, stripes on it here, maybe, but I don't know what happened. I literally don't know what happened. I guess I could have cut the yarn. I guess, because I'm obviously not knitting these to match either, so I could have cut the yarn. And reattached it, but I didn't. And now I've knit 2 inches with no dye. So it's like, do I go back and cut the, I don't know what to do. So like I said, these are for my mother. If she doesn't want them because of that, that's totally fine. I don't even care. I'll just give them to somebody else because she has a different size foot than me, so I can't wear them myself, which I would, but how dumb is that? Whatever, that's the way the cookie crumbled in that. This is in a project bag sewed by my sister Sarah. And it's one of my favorite project bags. I just love the print. I love the colors. I just love this project bag. I love it so much. Okay, that's weird. That yarn was weird. I don't know what to tell you. It's weird. My next pair of vanilla socks is not in a project bag. Sewn by my sister Sarah. This is in a project bag by The Fawn and the Fox. She was a maker in Canada. She doesn't make anymore, I don't think. But this is called Field Journal. Is the fabric print. Okay. Okay. I made some progress on these. Actually, I'm gonna move my progress keeper right now. So then next time hopefully they'll be done by the next time I podcast. I'm not gonna guarantee anything. I make no guarantees. Okay. Oh, and that stitch marker is from the cat lady. I think she included it on a skein of yarn that I had purchased from her. She dyes yarn. Shop is a little bit on a hiatus. I think she's trying to figure out what she's going to be doing. So, but she's a very talented dyer and knitter and crocheter. You should go check her out. She does a lot of very cool projects. Okay, this is another pair of vanilla socks. I am actually following the pattern, the Smooth Operator Socks by Susan B. Anderson. It is a vanilla sock, but I am following that pattern. This is knit cuff down with an afterthought heel. So I put it in waste yarn. It's not a true afterthought heel, but you put waste yarn in. If you're looking to try that out and you don't like afterthought heels because they sometimes have holes in the side where you attach the yarn to knit the heel, this is a very, very cool technique with pictures and everything about closing that hole up. So it's actually very cool. It's totally worth purchasing the pattern if that's something that you're interested in. So I finished this sock. I just have to do the heel. This is for a friend. This is where I was, I think, on this the last time I showed you. So I was almost done. And this is a stitch marker by Charmed and Dangerous, who is one of my favorite makers ever. I love her stitch markers and I almost exclusively use them. Sorry, Progress Keeper. Actually, I should show on my Arco Iris the stitch marker I'm using on that. Anyway, and then so here I am on this sock. So I have to knit 5 3/4 inches from here. I don't think I have I do have a ruler with me. Oh, whoops, I just dropped something. You probably saw that. I have a wrist ruler with me. Where did I get this from? I love Handles. I thought that was an interesting name as well. I could tag it below. Okay, so let's see how far I am on this. If you can hear my dog moving around. I thought maybe that she wouldn't be that great for this podcast because we had a little bit of a lie-in this morning. And so she's been sleeping all morning. And so I know. Are you going to be a good girl or a bad girl? Okay. Back up, please. I might have to take a bit of a break and get her something. But okay. So I'm about 3.5 inches from the heel. So I have a little bit more to go. And this is where I was the last time I showed you. So I've made quite a bit of progress on this. This is another Charmed and Dangerous stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and move that before I forget. Hello, darling. You're being a good girl? I know. Okay. No. Okay. So I'm knitting this on Premier Yarns in the Deborah Norville collection, the Serenity Sock Weight. This is 50% superwash merino wool, 25% rayon, 25% nylon. Rayon made from bamboo, I should say. And this is the color Viola, I think. Violas, excuse me. Yeah, so. And so, yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm knitting these on US size 1, 2.25 Addy. I think they're Addy. Little shorty DPNs. Which is really hard for this. No, Liz. Which is really hard for this because, this pattern, what am I trying to say? I'm getting distracted. For this pattern, because once you get to the heel, you rearrange your stitches and you put all of your back stitches, so half of your stitches on one DPN. And so it's hard on these shorties because it's a lot of stitches. There's 64 stitches is what I'm knitting it on. Okay. All right. Good girl, Liz. Okay, so that's it for whips. I do have some procurements. My first one is from Charmed and Dangerous. Okay, relax. It's a stitch marker, Progress Keeper. And it is so cute. I love it. I actually have another one coming. I wonder when it's going to come. It is a little polar bear star. Excuse me. How cute is that? So cute. I love it so much. I just love her stuff. So I should probably put that on a project at some point. Okay, so I have another procurement. It's not really a procurement. I didn't purchase it. It was a prize. I knit the Bonbec hood and by Emily. And anyway, I participated in a knit along with Shaylee that Shaylee from Hens and Chicks Fiber Arts was putting on, and I won. What? Okay, so one of the she had a lot of prize options, and one of the let me show you her little card. Hens and Chicks Fiber Arts, Shaylee. I'm gonna cover that up because my camera's gonna try to get that. And she cranks sock tubes, she dyes yarn, and she has a podcast, I think, or a channel at least. So one of the prizes offered was cranking 2 sock tubes of my own yarn. So that's the option I chose. Because after knitting 2 pairs of vanilla socks, who wants to do that anymore? Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so the first skein of yarn I sent her, I actually don't have the tag. I don't know where it went. I apologize. I apologize for that. But what? This is White Birch Fiber Arts, and I can't remember the colorway name. I'm so sorry. If I find the tag when I edit this, I will put the name on the screen. I got this a million years ago. I tried to figure out when I got this, but it was at my first Rhinebeck. Was that 2015? I can't remember. At my first Rhinebeck, and I never knit it up. It was like at least 5 years ago. So let me see. I didn't go the 2 years for COVID. So that's 2020. I didn't go. 2019 I went. 2018 I went. 2017. So 2017. So 5 years. Anyway, I can't remember what I was going to say about this. Oh, I never knit it up, and I don't know why. Why did I never? Look how amazingly beautiful this is. Why did I never knit this up? Well, I'm glad that I did. So these are going to be socks for me. So basically all you have to do is you just have to put it, you cut them and then put in heels, toes, and cuffs, which I'm happy to do because those don't take very long. So there's like waste yarn here. So you just, unravel and pick up stitches and whatever. And then you cut and cut again for the heel, which I've never done that before. I've never cut in for a heel. So I'm a little nervous. And then I had asked her to hold out 20 grams for heels, toes, and cuffs for me, for both of my tubes, which she did. I think 20 grams is enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the toe and the heel. And then if I don't have enough, I can just unravel from the top and reknit that in a cuff. And then the next one that I got cranked up was my Page Street, yarn in the base Dove. It is 60% superwash merino wool, 20% mulberry silk, and 20% nylon. I got this when I went up to the Finger Lakes with my husband and we went to that farmer's market. And so these are for him. Hold on, Liz. These are for him. So I got a tube cranked for that. It was very easy. She just asked me what width I wanted and she cranked them up. She asked me how many, because she has different needles. She has different, what are they called? Cylinders, different sizes. So she asked me how many needles and whatever. It was actually really, really easy. So I highly recommend it. I've never done it before. My friend Aquila from a Lefty Knitter podcast, I think she also offers cranking services. She has an Erlbacher Speedster. I think she also offers cranking services. I don't know why I never did it before, but I think it's totally worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. So you can try hens and chicks, or you can try a Lefty Knitter. And then I also kept out 20 grams for heels, toes, and cuffs for that. This is insane to me because I never knit just like a straight tube to see how long I could get out of, I mean, I always knit socks. Okay, stop it. I always knit socks, whatever, not always. I've knit socks for my husband several times. He's a size 12, I think. So, I mean, I don't know if that's average, but it feels very long when you're knitting socks. And I always have yarn left over after knitting him socks. And I knit the leg, generally speaking, very close to the foot length, if not the exact same length as the foot length. So they're very long socks. I never realized how, like this is with 20 grams missing. So this is 80 grams. It is so long. I did not realize like at all how much like, that's crazy. Oh, you know what though is very cool? I was thinking like, what am I going to do with the rest of it? Because obviously this is going to be way more. I could possibly get 2 pairs of socks out of this, like full size socks. I'm sure I could get multiple shorties, or I could get a pair of shorties and a pair of full size socks out of them. Anyway, Andrea from the Cat Lady channel, she has a circular sock machine as well. I think she also has an Erlbacher. She tries to like knit different things on her sock knitting machine, and she knit where am I going? What am I saying? Who am I? She knit out of a tube like this a cup cozy. What? So I think the way that she did it was, because there's a pattern, was some pattern she followed, but the way she did it was she knit a tube like this, and then she Kitchenered the stitches together like that. So it's like a double thickness sock, tube. And so like, let's say it was like this and it goes around your cup. But the interesting thing is that she didn't actually follow the pattern accurately. It totally works like that if that's how I wanted to do it. But how the pattern is actually written is as you fold it in on itself like this. So if I did it like this, the stripes would be going up and down around my cup, right? Can you stop, please? Stop. How the pattern is you have the tube like this, and then you fold it in on itself like this, and then you Kitchener like the top and bottom together. So if I did that, then the stripes would be going around my cup like this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't cover my mouth. How cool is that? So I'm like, I could probably make a few cup cozies out of this after I do the socks. I love it. Because I was like, what am I going to do with all of this yarn after? Because like, this isn't going to just be 2 socks. I was like, what am I going to do with all that yarn after? That's what I'm going to do. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, girl. Okay. I don't know. Have I talked enough about those? Very cool. I love them. Thank you so much, Shaylee. It was so nice participating in your Cal. I'm so glad I won. Thank you for all of the prize options. There were too many to choose from. Thank you for your assistance on helping me figure out how to do this, because like I have never had anybody crank a sock tube for me, and I probably asked super dumb questions. But she was so nice to work with and so easy. Okay. What I'm watching knitting. So there is a new podcaster. She has 2 episodes out. Her name is Lovan, which I've never heard that name before, and I love it. Her name is Lovan, and she has Love Knits, podcast on YouTube. And so I'm going to link her down below. And I can't remember where she is, but I really feel like she's like in Colorado area or something. But check her out. I'm not listening to any new podcasts right now, but my friend Andrea just recommended one for me, and I can't remember the name of it, so I'm really sorry, but I might put it on the screen, and I haven't checked it out yet, so it's not a recommendation by any means. I don't know, but she said I might like it, and you might like it too, so I'll put it down, but I haven't listened to it yet. And what I'm reading, I'm still reading the book Cliffhanger by Amy Saunders. It's kind of like a rom-com mystery kind of thing. It's fine. I don't love it. It's not moving my soul. I'm not a huge reader. I actually like reading. I'm not against reading at all. I'm just not a big reader. So I don't read very fast or for long chunks of time. So it takes me a long time to get through books, which is fine. I'm not trying to explain it. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm not down on myself by any means, and I don't have any goals to become a faster reader or try to get through more books or read 87,000 books. That's not the type of podcast this is. So anyway, that's what I have to say about reading. But it's really funny because I watched the Crafty Toads podcast with Amy and Mary Beth. No, I can't remember their names. But anyway, I don't know if any of you watch them. But they are very big readers. They read a lot, and they have a lot of book recommendations. So if that's the type of thing you're looking for, I highly recommend their channel. But they have a very specific system of ranking their books between 1-star, 5-star. And I find it very interesting to listen to. And they were talking about this one book that they were like, oh, I didn't think it lived up to the hype. And I have a controversial opinion about one of the books that they actually loved, and I think they might have even done Cal or did a yarn collection or something on it, and it was Where the Crawdads Sing, and I was super excited to read that book. I have family in the South, and so I think the book is set in, is it North Carolina or South Carolina, and in the marsh, and I was really excited to read that book, and my sister Sarah and I were at Costco one day. And we were looking at all the books, and that was one of the books that was on there. And this gentleman who was looking at books as well was like, have you ever read that? And we're like, no. And he goes, read it. It's so good. It's the best book ever. You're going to love it. It's so good. And I was like, ooh, okay. I'm super stoked to read this book. And I read it and I was like, meh, it's fine. And I watched the movie. I actually did like the movie. I didn't really care for the book. It's not that I didn't care for the book. It was fine. It was fine. So anyway, maybe I'm broken. Maybe my brain is broken for books and I just am not into books that everybody else is into. Anyway, that's what Cliffhanger is about. It's a rom-com mystery book. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all I have for you today. It is very cold outside. It is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. And it's windy. I can hear the wind. So I have some errands to run. I did a little bit of cleaning. I cleaned out a closet and some old clothes that I've been hanging on to. And I'm not even exaggerating. I think people think I'm joking when I say this. I had a box of clothes from, no lie, 16 years ago, because I sized out of them and they went into a box thinking that I would size back into them, which didn't happen. And I'm very different than the girl I was then. So anyway, I've been just keeping them, and I got married 16 years ago, and they have literally moved with me every single move. We've moved 4 or 5 times, and I was like, that's it. They're going to go. I love ya, but goodbye. And so I have clothes that I have to donate. I have some old electronics that I have to donate. I have to run to Ulta and probably buy stuff that I don't need. I do have a thing that I do need, but I'm going to buy stuff that I don't need, I'm sure. Run to the post office to check my P.O. box, which is probably overflowing with mail because I never go. And yeah, and then I'm going to pick some lunch up, treat myself. And because anytime I do any kind of adulting at all, which I don't really love that word, adulting. I know it's a thing millennials use, and as an elder millennial, I do fall prey to some of these language choices, but anytime I have to do anything responsible, I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself. So I'm gonna pick up some lunch, and then I may have a friend that's gonna come over. It's about 10:30 right now, so I have the whole day ahead of me, and I think I'm just gonna take it easy. I'm gonna edit this podcast. I'm gonna try to upload it, which will probably take 150,000 years, because for some reason, uploading recently, 4 weeks ago, has been taking forever. I have so many bluebirds at my feeder right now, Eastern bluebirds. They are so beautiful, and maybe if I can get them on camera, I will try to put a little bit after this. I'm rambling. I love you. It was good to see you. Thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you again. In the meantime, be kind to yourself, and you're doing great.